All right. We are doing an emergency live.
Emergency live.
We have used to do this very often on Facebook. When I first started posting, we would do lives on Facebook on what's going on in the world. And then Facebook censored us and shut me down. I think I had like 5,000 followers on Facebook and people were watching it every day. And then they stopped us from going live. So we want to talk about what's going on with Trump. And there's some things that people aren't mentioning right now. A lot of commentators, which by the way, everyone should be talking about this right now. Everyone should be talking about this. There is no crazy leftist video that is more important than what is going on with Trump right now. So if your favorite influencer or commentator is talking about some crazy leftist right now, tell them, why aren't you talking about Trump?
Yeah, seriously. There really should be no other story right now. It's crazy. We've kind of gotten used to it.
Yes.
It's the fourth indictment.
Fourth indictment.
It's like the frog in the pot that slowly warms, and we're kind of used to it now. But this is insane.
But this one is the most serious, I think.
Yeah.
And this one got the famous mugshot, which Trump did not disappoint.
Oh yeah, he came through. He came through with the mugshot. I can't wait to put that on or get my T-shirt for it. They do have them, by the way, on.
Get them from Donald Trump Jr.
Yeah,
because there's going to be a lot of influencers out there who are going to put Donald Trump on the shirts, right?
And I'm sure someone's going to come out with a cool.
But if you buy it from Donald Trump Jr., it goes towards his legal fees.
Yeah.
Which, even though the man is a millionaire, whatever, he still should have his legal fees covered because this is messed up.
Well, they're doing it on purpose to try and drain him. Because I mean, he does have limited resources.
He does have. He's not. He's not
the Fed.
He's not the Fed. Yeah. There we go. So will you explain exactly what this indictment is about?
So this last one, well, first of all, let me just say that anybody who's going through like detailed legal analysis of this and like trying to argue like, here's the merits of the case.
Well, that's what the left is doing right now.
Yeah. And then there's some people on our side who are just like, and here's how Trump can beat it. Before it's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. So before we get started on this, remember Hillary Clinton? She for 4 years was freaking out and saying that Trump was an illegitimate president. She said that.
Al Gore
verbatim.
Do you guys remember Al Gore?
In Georgia. So the indictment is in Georgia. In Georgia, Stacey Abrams. That's what she looks like, right? But add 200 pounds to my body. Anyways, she contested her 2018 election and even had a case against it saying that it was illegitimate. But Trump is now a mob boss. So go ahead and share what the charges are.
They're doing basically a RICO case, and there's multiple charges in multiple states, but they're trying to do a RICO case, which if you don't know that, those are the laws that they try to use to go after mobsters. So it's like, if we can't catch, because generally what mobsters would do back in the day, they're not going out. If you're the top mob boss, they're not going out and actually committing the crime themselves. They're telling other people, like, you go do this, you go do that, right? Mm-hmm. And so they create these laws that make it so that, okay, if you have this criminal conspiracy where you are, pulling the strings for some big giant conspiracy, we can go after you, even though we don't have you nabbed for doing the actual details of a crime, right? Those are RICO laws. Those are the laws that actually Rudy Giuliani used to take down mob bosses in New York. Now they're trying to use them against Trump, but the underlying all this, there is no crime, essentially. The crime is contesting an election, defrauding the United States, which is just like, it's insane, the idea. So, I mean, it's a RICO case built on trying to make it illegal to say, hey, I disagree with this election, or I want to find election fraud and show that there is fraud. You can't do that now if you're a MAGA Republican. So
what happened for 4 years during Trump, while Trump was president, let's not forget that they investigated him about Russia and collusion, right? And found nothing. It was nothing. They spent millions of dollars on this.
Yeah.
And they were trying to undermine his election the whole 4 years that he was president, right?
I mean, you could argue that their investigation into Russian collusion is the exact same thing they're charging Trump for.
Worse.
Because they were looking
Trump did a phone call.
Yeah.
They used taxpayer money.
Yeah.
They used taxpayer money to investigate the current president at the time.
Mm-hmm.
and to try and undermine his election in
to
hopes
try and
to
prove that he had stolen the 2016
Mm-hmm.
election by colluding with the Russians. Now, if Trump looks for evidence that they stole the 2020 election, that's illegal. They did a
Yes.
whole investigation. I mean, it's completely ridiculous.
And you look at who these DAs are. You look into the DA. She's a DA in Georgia, and she is. You can just look at her picture, and you can tell she's a screaming Democrat, right? Probably loves Kamala or whatever her name is, and wears her chucks or whatever. So these people, they are being weaponized to go after Trump. The system is already messed up in and of itself. The DA system that we have in this country is messed up in and of itself because it has created a police state. Because DAs can pick and choose who they want to investigate. So this same DA is letting criminals go back out on the streets, people that commit real crimes that like, hurt people and like rob people. Yet now she's going to list all of these charges against Trump. And another thing about this is that she has also arrested or indicted 18 other people in hopes that they will turn on Trump.
Lawyers.
That they will turn on Trump.
Now.
Yes.
Which was unprecedented stuff just a few years ago. The idea that you would go after a lawyer for defending their client. Like the whole idea in this country is that no matter what crime you do, no matter how heinous it is or what you're accused of, right? Because we're innocent until proven guilty in this country. No matter what crime you're accused of, a lawyer is supposed to defend you. That's their job. They're supposed to go out and say, fight and argue your case. The idea that you could go after someone's lawyers for simply trying to do their job, I mean, it's insane. There's attorney-client privilege for a reason. You're not supposed to go after it. And they've broken all the rules of norms and stuff. And it's just, to save democracy, and we can do anything.
Now we have the Republicans who aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Well,
our Republican politicians. And I was looking at the 2016 debates against Trump and the Republicans, the establishments like Jeb Bush that were running. And there was a point in the debate where Trump is saying, I'm not bought like you guys.
Yeah.
All of the people in the audience right now, these are all, I couldn't even get tickets for people to come because these are all paid interest. I mean, people who pay these politicians. And we hear the audience booing Trump. This is a Republican debate, right? So his own party does not like him. And this is when I was like, okay.
Well, that's why I liked it.
Yes.
Both
because
parties hate
we're
him?
both formerly Democrat leftist losers. No, we were
pre-Trump.
This is pre-Trump. Okay, I left during Obama's second term. I need to share that full story at some point.
Yeah.
Joshua left around the same time, right?
Yeah. Obama disillusioned a lot of people.
Obama was just
Democrats.
an extension of Bush. Obama was Bush extension.
Uniparty.
But in bright, like rainbow colors. Anyways, so Trump is calling out these establishment, rhino, uniparty losers, right? And the whole audience is booing him. This is at a Republican debate when the audience is actually in favor of the Republicans, right? This was for the eventual Republican nominee. And this is where I was like, wow, Trump is not on either of these guys' sides.
And he was calling them out to their faces.
And this is where I am loyal to him because I know that that the people that I don't like on both sides are against him. And now they're so against him that they will not stand up for him right now, which they should be doing. Georgia is a red state. Okay. No matter how much the left is trying to tell you that Georgia is not a red state, it is a red state.
It is voter wise.
Yes.
The problem though,
they have Atlanta.
And the problem though is what you were alluding to is the corruption on the Republican Party. Because even though the voters, it's a red state, it's controlled by rhinos who hate Trump. And so they allowed it to be stolen in 2020. And right now, and this is my biggest issue of what's going on right now. We know what the Democrats are going to do. We know this is like no surprise. Okay, they're going to indict him again. They're probably going to indict him again once some more Hunter news comes out as another distraction or something, right? So we know what they're going to do.
Or the fact that Joe Biden took bribes. President Biden has
some more news will break on that.
From
and they'll
Ukraine,
be like,
of no
Trump.
place, of every place.
Yeah, tomorrow they're going to indict Barron Trump or something like that. I don't know. I'm just joking. But so we know what Democrats are going to do. The issue, though, and this is what I don't think is getting enough attention, is Republicans can stop this right now.
Yeah.
Right
Mhm.
now in Georgia.
They don't want to.
Republicans control Georgia. They control the legislature, they control the governor. There was a law passed just a few months ago, apparently, where the governor can step in if you are a rogue DA. And they passed these kind of laws because of Soros attorney generals that are funded by Soros, or not attorney generals, but district attorneys that are funded by Soros. So they passed these laws so that if these crazy district attorneys start going after conservatives and stuff, that a Republican governor like Brian Kemp, who's running Georgia right now, can step in and say, no, we're going to stop this. They don't care. This is the thing that is really disturbing. Republicans are allowing this to happen. It could stop today, and they are not doing it. They're doing an investigation. They're going to look into it, but that's what they do. It's delay tactics.
But
they're pretending they're doing something.
But what's amazing about our side right now is that we pay attention. We're not like the left. We're not like anyone but Trump and then go and vote for Biden like a bunch of idiots, right? Okay. We actually pay attention. So if you take a look at what happened with the Republican debate that happened this week, people are already cold on DeSantis. And Joshua and I, we were calling out DeSantis a while ago. And I got some hate for that because a lot of people were telling me, yeah, a lot of people were telling me he isn't even running.
Yeah.
He isn't even running.
I
What are you talking about?
Remember that? People got mad at us for that.
Yeah. So anyways, we were calling him out. We were saying, hey guys, take a step back, research a little bit more. And a lot of people did. We're not going to be deceived. And we are paying attention now. The people that aren't paying attention, the ones that are putting their mask back on right now, those are the ones that I'm worried about. But we're actually paying attention. And so it's a time for us to start calling out our own party. It's time for us to start calling out the right and telling them, what are they going to do about this? Because what would the left be doing right now if imagine if Obama had 4 indictments and a mugshot.
In red states.
And in a mugshot.
Or in blue state. Yeah.
In a blue state.
Yeah.
While Trump was president.
Yeah. Could you imagine what they would do? If
Republican DAs went after Obama.
Would Gavin Newsom allow a Republican DA in California? This is the equivalent, right?
Yes.
A Republican who just runs an area, let's say Orange County or something, in California, a Republican pocket, but it's in California, and they're indicting Obama. Would Gavin Newsom allow that? No, he would not allow it. He would put an end to it. What are Republicans doing? What are we waiting for? Oh, if we do that, then we're playing their game. It's some kind of nonsense. Guys, this is end of the Republic stuff. I mean, the next step is they're going to start like indicting, Tucker Carlson or something like that. They're just going to start going down the line.
They're going to eventually go after us. And that's part of the reason why they're bringing back the C-19 stuff, because they want to go after the people that resist. They went after us 2 years ago. They made people in the military get the what in order to stay, because it was a purge. It was a purge. Are you going to?
This comment, though.
What is it?
Chris Christie.
Okay, put it up if it's
funny. Right there.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Chris Christie won the debate after 8
others. Okay.
Sorry.
Whoever you are, you're awesome. Anyways, so yeah, you made me lose my train of thought.
That was too funny.
That's okay. That's okay. I totally lost it, but that's okay. We can move on.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? What does this mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, the bigger point is they're not stopping it.
No, they're not stopping.
If they're not stopping this, if Republican establishment types like Brian Kemp and they should be flipping out. The Republican Party in Georgia, the average state legislature, the guys who are supposed to be MAGA that got elected there, they should right now all be flipping out. They should all be putting pressure, and all of our conservative media should be putting pressure on Brian Kemp, the Attorney General in Georgia, all these, because if you want this to stop, guys, if that's the goal, just tweeting about it, like Jim Jordan and McCarthy, and they just tweet about it.
Yeah.
That's not going to do anything to stop it. If you want it to stop, the pressure point where you can get it to stop is the people in charge in states like Georgia. What are you doing? And, obviously you could also do, in the House of Representatives, they should have defunded the Department of Justice investigation a long time ago, but they're not. And instead, McCarthy they own the way that the House, because we control the House, the way they have powers, they control the money supply. So they could cut off the federal investigation from being able to run. They could pass a law saying, hey, you can't use funds for that. They're not even trying to do that. In fact, McCarthy is trying to pass a law with Democrats right now to fund the government for like a few more months to make it so that's not even on the table. So, guys, I'm telling you right now, the Republican establishment is allowing this to happen on purpose. And I think that's where you were going.
Yeah.
We need to start calling out people on our side because they're the ones who are allowing this to happen.
Yes. And so here's something that's not being talked about right now, and that's the implications. They don't even need to put Trump in prison. They just need a guilty. That's why they're doing so many indictments, because they just need a guilty, because what that means, now listen up here, there's not a lot of people talking about this right now. What that means is that Trump will not be able to be on the ballot in 2024.
That's what they're going to do.
So there is rules in certain states where you, not all states, but if you are a convicted felon, you cannot run for president. This is their attempt to get Trump off of the ballot. This is their attempt to steal the 2024 election.
Yeah. That's
okay.
What's going to happen.
Trump was going to win by a landslide because Biden has proven to all of, there's only idiots still supporting Biden, but there's still a lot of people waking up. If you look at, there's a video right now in Atlanta where Trump is driving through Atlanta, and there's people on the streets, Black people on the streets, yelling for him and saying, save Trump, free Trump, right? So Trump is really popular right now because we've seen the fruits of Biden. All of these idiots that were like, oh, Trump's horrible. And then they look back on it and they go, wait a second. What did he actually do? He funded Black colleges. He made the economy a lot stronger. Our border was a lot better. Right now, the border supplies, all of our border supplies right now that Trump raised funds for and got funds for and bought supplies for are being auctioned off by the Biden administration right now. Our border is in crisis right now. They don't ever talk to you guys about what's going on at our border because they don't want you to care about it anymore. Only during Trump were you allowed to care about what's going on at the border, but it's in crisis right now. And so they are trying to get Trump off the ballot. If he has a felony charge in several states, he will not be able to be on the ballot at all. So that's why there's the 4 indictments. 4 indictments. It'll probably be 5. It might even be 6. And they just need one of them to be a guilty because then they can get him off the ballot. Yeah. This is what the left always says, threat to our democracy. This is the real threat to our democracy, or our republic, as they are so stupidly calling it a democracy. It's republic.
That's why Georgia is a key. Some of these blue states, Trump's not going to be allowed on the ballot in many of these blue states. I'm telling you right now, they're going to take him off the ballot. I wouldn't be surprised if New York and California, they just don't even allow him on the ballot.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Let's okay. How is that? That's real voter suppression. Right there.
Exactly. That's just the, what's it called? Who cares?
Yeah.
But so they're going to do that, in some of those states, or maybe they'll decide it doesn't matter because they're blue states and they control them anyway. But I wouldn't be surprised if those kind of states say, hey, he's not allowed on the ballot. What matters, though, is the swing states. And Georgia.
That's what they did during 2020. They only care about the swing states. That's exactly why those dates, those states had their all of a sudden at midnight. Oh, we can't count anymore.
So
we can't count anymore. Let's shut down the counting in swing states.
Let's talk about some of these states. So there are laws on the books and there's websites you can go to that cover all the 50 states and tell you, like, if you're a convicted felon, can you be on the ballot in those states? And a lot of times it's connected to can you vote, right? It's disenfranchisement law. So if you want to look it up, you look up like disenfranchisement state laws, blah, blah, blah. This is a U.S. News article I found that has a summary of it, and there's links to the different laws on it. But like Florida, for example, in Florida, can you imagine if Trump was taken off the ballot in Florida? That's 25 votes. It's a massive electoral state. Republicans cannot win without Florida. It's not possible. And he won in a landslide last time. But what if they took him off? So in Florida, you're what they call disenfranchised when you become a felon, but you can appeal to a state board to get your rights given back. Here's the problem, though. What if the timing of it? What if they get their conviction right before the election and there's not enough time to get him on the ballot, or around the time where they're like making the ballots and stuff like that, right? And a lot of this is going to be timing. A lot of this, the devil's in the details. So, as we get closer to the 2024 election, if he's just got convicted and now he's got to go through some process to get his rights restored in Florida, and Republicans didn't take care of this beforehand, because right now what they should be doing in states like Florida, red states that we run, they should be making laws that say, hey, automatically your name is allowed on the ballot. Even if you're a felon, you can run for federal office in our state. They should make those laws. And you may, but what about this? I don't care. This is not time for that. This is time for we're watching a Marxist revolution. Pass the stupid law, make it happen, right? Mm-hmm. But we're not even talking about it. We're not planning for this stuff. Why is it that Ron DeSantis can get it so that his state passes a law where he can, because the law in Florida was you cannot run for federal office if you already have a state position. He was supposed to have to resign as governor to run for president. They changed the law for him. He got that passed in Florida just a few months ago. Quickly, no problem. There was barely any discussion in the media. He just, boom, got it passed. He can stay governor while running for president. Why is there no push in Florida to make it so that Trump is not going to get taken off the ballot? We're sleepwalking toward what's going to happen.
No one's talking about this.
It's not getting talked about.
No one's talking about the fact that if he gets a charge from any of these, if he gets convicted from any of these indictments, and I mean, think about what they're investigating him for. Things like the paperwork that Biden had paperwork in his garage, and this was while he was vice president, right? Things that was normally a slap on the wrist, right? If there was paperwork found, classified documents found in a former president's residence or whatever, it was a slap on the wrist. It's very common. It's happened since Clinton. It's happened. Vice President Biden had them because he was only vice president at the time. He doesn't have the power to declassify documents. And so they are working so hard to get a guilty charge for this reason, to get him off the ballot. This is how you steal an election.
Yeah.
This is how, and so all of the people that are saying they're not even going to give us a chance to vote for him, because he would have won in an overwhelming amount, because there's so many people that are over it. There's so many people that are jaded. There's so many people that are tired of Biden. If you go to New York right now, there's like thousands of immigrants sleeping on the street, and then they just bus them randomly somewhere. I don't even know where they take them. But our economy has been super unstable, and it's now up to $200 billion that have been sent to Ukraine. $200 billion. That's enough to give around $2 million to every single school in America.
It's nuts.
All of these Black people that were demanding reparations and we're just sending $200 billion to Ukraine. How do you think they feel? Unless they're total idiots and they're still like, we love Biden. Biden's amazing. He has a Black vice president or whatever. Yeah, those are the idiots. But there's a lot of people that are waking up and being like, wait a second here. We're getting nothing from this president. We're getting our economy sucked dry. And on top of it, the mainstream media is so biased towards Biden. The recent Maui, he went and visited Maui, right? And there's video of Biden falling asleep at this like Maui memorial thing. And the media is fact checking that right now and saying that Biden was being reverent.
Joke.
He was being reverent. He wasn't falling asleep. He was being reverent. Okay, I watched the full table. I fast forwarded through the full tape. No, this guy was nodding off. Okay, he was like literally like that. And then like waking up and then nodding off. He did it twice. And the bogus mainstream media is saying he was being reverent when no one else was bowing their head. Biden's just bowing his head in reverence. The guy that can barely, and you watch the whole video, watch it without sound, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, this guy is like, he moves like this. Okay. So, and you're telling me that he was bowing his head in reverence, not nodding off with his mouth open like this, right? Okay, so this is, if you're still a supporter of Biden, you have been completely psyoped by the media. Psyoped, okay? But anyways, that's their goal, is to get Trump off the ballot.
So here's a couple more states. In Georgia, you have to do another, if you're a felon, convicted felon, you have to go through a state board of pardons and paroles to restore your civil rights.
Wow.
Do you think Brian Kemp, who hates Trump publicly and is doing nothing while Trump is just getting arrested for speaking his First Amendment rights and investigating corruption, do you think that Brian Kemp's going to stop, or his board is going to, these are swamp creatures and these types of things. They're not. They're going to drag this process out and be, oh well, it's too late, or they won't even do it at all. And Brian Kemp will be like, oh well, it's a board that decided and I can't do it. It's something like that is what's going to happen. Virginia, people are automatically stripped of their civil rights, meaning they can't run for office. The state constitution gives the governor the ability to restore it. Who's the governor of Virginia? A guy who's considering running against Trump, a swamp creature, Young Kim. So, I mean, what do you think is going to happen with that? New Hampshire, not until your sentence is finished serving. So let's say they give Trump, some kind of like probation, and he doesn't even have to go to jail, but it's like a 2-year probation or something like that. He can't be on the ballot in New Hampshire. That matters. New Hampshire matters. Louisiana, they tried to make a law so you can't do it for 15 years. You can't run for office. That got overturned. So they passed a constitutional amendment that says you have to be pardoned. And it has to be 5 years after seeking 5 years after their sentence. So here's the quote. You're prohibited, convicted felons, unless pardoned from seeking or holding public office until 5 years after completing your sentence. Devil's in the details. 5 years, too late, can't run. Can you imagine Louisiana? If a Republican can't have Louisiana, they cannot win the presidency. Like, you start looking at some of these states and you look at how close these electoral college votes are, and all it takes is a couple states and it's over. And so this stuff is devil's in the details on this. Nebraska, you have to wait 2 years and these are all, a lot of these are like state, if you're convicted at a state level. Now, we're not even talking about the federal level where they're going to try, they haven't yet, but just mark my words, eventually they will indict him for insurrection. They haven't pulled that one out yet, but they will eventually indict him for an insurrection. Once they do that, the 14th Amendment, I believe it's 14th Amendment, will apply, which was passed during the Civil War, which makes it so that if you tried to overthrow the government, which, peacefully and patriotically let your voices be heard, go home, no violence, like that's an overthrow. It's a joke, but they're going to convict him of that at the federal level. Once that happens, then constitutionally, you got to keep him off of all these ballots. And that's the big trump card that's going to happen. And we're not even preparing for it. Red states all over the country should be passing laws on this. Mm-hmm. And swing states where rhinos are running it, I don't know what Brian Kemp's not going to do anything about this. He's going to let it happen.
Regardless of this all, though, I want to end with some hope.
Yeah. Sorry.
This is only going to make him more popular because people are seeing the hypocrisy. Like, for example, right now, like there's the Hunter Biden stuff. There's the vice president, while he was vice president, Biden taking bribes from Ukraine. And now he's sending $200 billion. Now he has sent $200 billion to Ukraine right now, which is so unaccounted for.
Which is being allowed by Republicans in Congress. You can't even get an
accurate death count of what's even going on in Ukraine. You go to the capital of Ukraine right now, and people are partying, right? Yeah. They're partying. Meanwhile, you go to the cities in this country, and we're having an opioid crisis. Mm-hmm. We're having fentanyl crisis. Yes, I think now it's actually there's another drug right now that's even bigger than fentanyl. That's making people bow over. That's not fentanyl. It's something else. But people are waking up. And this is only, like, I have been praying for light to be revealed, for truth to be revealed, and for the Democrat Party to finally get exposed, and the Republicans that are on the same side, the uniparty globalists. Okay. Mm-hmm. We need lightness. Right? We need light right now because people are being so deceived. So if you see this, if you see Trump and all of his indictments, right? The first president in American history getting indictments like this. former president, right? You see this, and then you see what Biden has been allowed to do, what Obama has been allowed to do, what Hillary Clinton and the Clintons have been allowed to do, which is there are things that you can find. The reason why I did not vote for Trump, I did not vote for Clinton and I stopped supporting the Democrat Party during, when Hillary Clinton was running against Trump, was because I looked into what Hillary did in Haiti. And see that they're not willing to look it up. These people that are on the right, on the left, they're not willing to look it up. They just listen to what the mainstream media tells them. Obama's completely protected. Hillary Clinton's completely protected. They will not listen to the truth. They don't even care to research the truth. They're all in their emotions right now. But there's a lot of people who aren't. There's a lot of people that are standing up to this and waking up. And that's what's amazing right now is it's starting a movement. I also think that they want to ignite us to get violent, like people on the right. They want to have, so like, let's say Trump is not allowed in the ballots in several states. So basically it's another stolen election. Well, what are some people going to do about that?
Yeah.
And then they have a reason to persecute us.
Don't do anything.
Yes. And they have a reason to persecute us. So anyways, I just want everyone to hang on to the fact that light will be revealed. Light will come and darkness will be revealed. These people aren't going to stay in power forever. Look at how corrupt these people are. They're such hypocrites. And my last message to you also is they're going to start bringing all the COVID crap back. And I want to remind you of all of the Democrats and how hypocritical they are. I want to remind you of in California, Gavin Newsom had his kids in private schools while the public schools were shut down. And Gavin Newsom was going out to restaurants and having them open for him and doing these expensive restaurants while small restaurants in California were forced to be shut down and were losing their businesses. Nancy Pelosi went and got her haircut in a salon. Mm-hmm. She went and got her haircut in a salon while salons were required to be shut down.
Not even to mention the massive George
there was some other
Floyd
Democrat governor. Yeah, there was some.
funeral,
Oh yeah, exactly. There was the funeral. 3,000
funeral.
people went to George Floyd's funeral, while families weren't even allowed to have funerals for their loved ones.
10 people.
Okay, I'm just reminding you all of all of this because they want to control you. And you should not let them do that. Not let them do it again. Even if you're a leftist on here listening to this, if you have been completely psyoped by them, wake up. Wake up. Okay? They do not care about you. They want to control you. And the masks. They're making you wear a mask while Biden took his mask off for photo ops when he became president. With all of his family, he had his mask off and was doing all these photographs with his mask off, right? Okay? There was Democrat politicians partying in clubs with their masks off while they were enforcing mask mandates. All right? So don't let them control you. You have to stand up to this. You have to be independent. You have to be an independent thinker and do your research. Research the Democrat Party. At least have some integrity. Okay. If you're going to say, Trump deserves this, Trump should be arrested. Well, then all of your stupid politicians, your corrupt politicians should be arrested too. They should be indicted too. If you think Trump's guilty and you think he should be arrested and you think he should be indicted and you think he should just rot in prison, right? Then Biden should too.
Which unfortunately,
quit being a hypocrite.
That's really the only solution to this stuff, honestly, is the Republicans need to start indicting Democrats.
Yes, but they won't. They won't. They're just going to do investigations. So you're going to hear this. And that's a lot of things. A lot of lip service people. There's a lot of lip service. They tell you what you want to hear.
Our side is too nice.
Yeah. Our side is too nice.
We allow this stuff because we're too nice. We're too forgiving. And I'm telling you right now, that's the biggest cancer in this country is people who are on the right, who are Christians and conservatives being too nice. We're allowing all this garbage to happen.
The mouth breather comments. I'm actually a mouth breather right now because I am fighting a COVID. That's what we call it. Who knows what this is? Yeah. Don't go get tests. It's not when you go and get a test. They're not going to give you any medicine. Don't add to the numbers. Don't let them frighten people because the thing is, there's a lot of idiots, but there's also the well-meaning people. We have some of them in our family that just follow rules and they've always trusted the government and you're terrifying them. If you go and get a test and you add to the numbers, you're terrifying that person. Don't go to the hospital if you have a mild case. 50% of the cases were mild that went to the hospital. that original round. All
Mm.
right, stop. Don't do that. Don't add to the fear mongering. Okay. So yeah.
By the way, we didn't get any comments on the audio, so I hope that meant it was
Yeah.
good.
How's the audio? Am I
hope
too
that meant it was
loud? Because I
good.
like holding it. I don't know. I feel like it just helps me.
It was probably good because nobody
Yeah.
said anything. So yeah.
Am I being too loud?
We'll do this format more often.
Yeah, casual.
Yeah.
We're very busy. We run a school. We run Exodus Institute. And if they
which enrollment is open,
yes,
by
if
the
they
way.
force masks on your kids, do not comply. Pull your kids, and especially if you're in a swing state. If you're in a swing state, you can.
Thank you, Michelle. Audio was fine.
Yeah, you
Mitchell,
can.
sorry,
I mean, not a swing
Mitchell,
state,
sorry.
but a school choice state. Our school is actually could be low cost or free for you, and you can check out our school at thinkexodus.org.
thinkexodus.org, fully online. We have an accredited K through 12 program where we do all the teaching and the grading. It's self-paced. We are below the national average on cost, and we accept vouchers if your state offers them. We also have international accreditation. So lots of countries we accept from other countries, K through 12. And we also have a separate program. It's different, $20 a month. That you're not going to get a full K through 12 program for $20 a month. This is separate. We have two of them, K through 12. You can look up the cost on our website. It's below the national average, but we also have a separate $20 a month program for our enrichment program. So if you're a homeschool parent already and you just need some extra lessons that debunk leftist nonsense, $20 a month, you get full access to everything we have, as long as you're a member, and you can cancel whenever you want. And just put on our lessons. We do all the teaching, and the grading's automatic, and we go through all kinds of hero stories, and we debunk leftist nonsense.
No, not all the grading is automatic, because I do grade some of it.
Some of it, yeah.
So your kid will get graded by me.
But we do we teach the lessons personally on those. Yes. And
he doesn't like grading. I actually like seeing all of the kids' work. That's like my favorite thing, is to see a kid turning in a lesson on what happened in Venezuela, where they learn about socialism, or they learn about George Washington Carver. I love that enrichment program. That's only $20 a month. So please share about it. And I will be doing more content like this, longer content about the news and what's going on in the world. We are going to make a commitment to do that. And I need him to do it with me.
Yeah.
Because I have to have someone to talk to. I just can't do it on my own. When I talk to myself, when I do these videos, I've tried to do longer videos on my own by myself, and I'm like literally boring myself. So I don't know. It's just not my thing. So I'll probably be doing it with him, the longer videos. You'll always get the shorts from me. And I'm going to be making some more satire. I know my YouTube audience loves the satire, and it helps to laugh.
Yeah, you got a Luna comment on here.
It helps to laugh through all of this. We need to laugh. And we got to laugh. Laughing is therapy. So anyways, God bless you guys. Stay strong. Everything's going to be okay. All things work out for good for those who love the Lord, even the hard stuff. Everything's going to be okay.
Amen.
All right. God bless you guys.